past 2 weeks, we have been looking at the Ten Commandments. Started with sort of an overview, and then last week we were looking at the first commandment. I argued that we all worship something. Very likely we have a small g God that is trying to crowd out the God who is. Noted that who we understand God to be, who we worship, is shaping us, and that life only ultimately works when we have a rightly ordered heart and we are in sync with the God who is. So the second commandment, which we look at this week, reads, "You shall not make for yourself an idol in the form of anything in heaven above or on earth beneath or in the waters below. You shall not bow down to them or worship them, for I, the Lord your God, am a jealous God, punishing the children for their sin of the fathers to the third and fourth generation of those who hate me, but showing love to 1,000 generations of those who love me and keep my commandments." My guess is that you're feeling pretty good about this commandment. You here don't have any idols, and you think, yeah, that's good. There are no statues in my house, no shrines. I saw some idols when I was in India. The taxi driver had a little, Ganesh idol on the rearview mirror, but not me. Or I saw, I went to the Mayan ruins and I saw what they were worshiping. I saw some of the totem poles that people bow down and seem to pay reverence to. Or I saw idols when I was in Japan, family shrines, whatever. My guess is that you're going to say, no, I'm fine. And then perhaps you will think, but I'm sure it's not that easy because Woodruff would be the type who would set me up. So I suspect I don't completely understand what's going on here, which I would just say would be a good instinct, especially when I say there's almost never a time in the history of the Jews, Old Testament, New Testament, when they don't have the problem of idolatry. And in fact, the way some people would look at this, idolatry is the single biggest topic in the Bible. So this is not a small matter. You shall not make for yourself an idol. The King James Version translates it graven image. This is a very literal sort of translation of the Hebrew term pasel and of the Greek term icon, from which we get our word icon, right? Most modern translations have moved away from using graven image because there's an understanding that that's not really the way this plays out in today's world. And in fact, that the problem is not limited to carvings. A wrong view of God and wrong worship of the right view of God is the way we are getting in trouble here. So what is an idol? Biblically speaking, an idol is anything that we pursue over God, anything that we love more than God, any aspect of creation that we treat as a God. An idol is anything, and again, most likely it's a good thing. It's a marriage, it's children, it's mountains, it's pleasure, it's happiness, it's good things. It's any good thing that we try to make an ultimate thing. Anything, any created thing that gets elevated above its right status. We give idols undeserved influence in our life, in shaping our identity and in influencing our attitude. An idol is anything that we look to provide meaning that we should be looking to God to provide. Perhaps the easiest way to encourage you to try and figure out what idols you might be worshiping is not to ask you, what idols you're worshiping, because we tend to not think of it that way. It's not the way it's experienced. I could ask you, what are you living for? But that's also maybe we can escape some of the condemnation that might come our way if we come at this through the back door and ask, what do you fear? Like, what is unthinkable to you? What do you live in horror of? There may be insight there into your own heart that would allow you to say, I am making something that's not an ultimate thing an ultimate thing. Think about that. Have a good day.